Good evening. I'm Crystal Clearwater. Here are tonight's headlines. Today at the G7 summit, world leaders bravely attempted the impossible, confronting Donald Trump without triggering a huge tweet storm. Donald Trump's $45 million military parade flopped harder than threads. In true style, he blamed it on French sabotage, TikTok, and bad vibes. Also at the G7 summit, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney savagely ended U.S. President Donald Trump's back and forth with reporters. And in breaking news, the Trump Organization is licensing the Trump name for a new wireless service, which is being marketed to the president's supporters. At the G7 today, world leaders bravely attempted to confront Trump without triggering the inevitable shitstorm. Macron brought croissants. Trudeau brought apologies. And Japan brought Godzilla, just in case. Trump, meanwhile, proposed replacing the global economy with Truth Social NFTs. And a tariff piñata. The talks paused briefly when he demanded Putin zoom in wearing a cowboy hat. Trump's long-awaited military parade finally happened. The uniformed soldiers marched irregularly, slightly offbeat. The crowd, mostly pigeons. One guy in a QAnon cape and a confused Uber Eats driver. Trump declared it a historic success. Then blamed low turnout on French sabotage, TikTok, and bad vibes. Meanwhile, Mattis was spotted Googling how to legally swallow acid. Also at the G7 summit today, Donald Trump arrived radiating alpha vibes, fresh off his parade flop. Carney, armed with Canadian politeness and a timer, ended Trump's press chaos at 7:59. Trump blamed Trudeau, TikTok, and bad feng shui for the abrupt shutdown. Carney offered him a maple-scented stress ball and a pamphlet titled How to Share the Mic. The Trump Organization has a new wireless service, which puts the brand in competition with major phone carriers like AT&T and Verizon, and smartphone makers like Apple and Samsung. Trump Mobile has launched with the T1 Gold, the only phone that drops calls and indictments. For $47.45 per month, you get unlimited texts, roadside assistance, and a ringtone of Don Jr. yelling crypto. And that's all the breaking news headlines we have for today. In the ever-chaotic tech universe, artificial intelligence continues its noble journey, either revolutionizing healthcare or gaslighting your fridge into thinking it's an air conditioner. For an in-depth look at AI, crypto, and the latest efforts to teach robots how to use a toaster, we go to Henry Fox. Henry.
Thanks, Crystal. I tried to assign this story to our AI reporter, but she immediately pitched a Netflix documentary about her groundbreaking journalism journey and wanted to rebrand the segment as Next Gen AI Insights, powered by quantum computing. She also requested sponsored content breaks between each word. So here I am, disappointingly human. In AI breaking news. AI can now tell us whether our paintings are real or fake because apparently trained art experts weren't qualified enough. Apparently 45% of people can't tell the difference between human and AI art. In other news, 45% of people need glasses. Sydney scientists can now read your thoughts with AI. Privacy advocates are worried about mental surveillance. Millennials are excited about finally being understood. Brain-computer interfaces are expanding rapidly, which is perfect timing for a generation that already thinks their phones can read their minds anyway. In breaking crypto news. As traders await an imminent Federal Reserve bombshell, the U.S. Senate is poised to vote on the Trump administration's landmark stablecoin bill. Analysts still predict Bitcoin hitting $200,000 in 2025. Meanwhile, your student loan debt remains disappointingly stable at exactly what you borrowed. In other technology news, Australian researchers have discovered being funny doesn't make you more attractive on dates. 65% of young adults use dating apps, apparently for comedy shows. Humor is valued in romantic partners across cultures, except Australia, apparently. Local comedians are updating their Tinder profiles to serious professional only. And that's all of today's breaking high-tech news. Back to you, Crystal.
Thanks, Henry. And in other news, a study has found that red meat industry-funded research makes red meat appear healthier. Scientists are shocked that money influences conclusions. Independent studies show red meat harmful. Industry-funded studies disagree. Next week, tobacco companies publish a study claiming cigarettes improve lung capacity. And that's it for tonight's broadcast. Now hit that subscribe button. Tell your boss you're on a very important call, and we'll see you tomorrow night on Satirical News Network. Good night.